Eric Summerer's Board Game Collection. Eric Summerer's Board Game Collection. Hi, I'm Eric Summerer, and this is my board game collection. Let's go. So the primary collection is on 10 of these shelves, with some stuff piled up on top as well. It goes from relatively organized, pretty, neatly positioned here on this side of the room, and then we gradually get less and less coherent and more chaotic as we work our way towards the kids' games over there. So first off, these are IKEA Besta shelves. I like them because they are adjustable. You can change the width of the gaps in between the shelves to get as close as possible to the size of the boxes that you're trying to put on the shelf. And if you're clustering games by box size, then clustering by manufacturer/publisher is a good way to do that. So we've got the Days of Wonder section up here. I had to actually get rid of one of the Ticket to Rides. It was the Rails and Sails because it was exactly the right size to make room for heat. Over here, we can see that I started by trying to alphabetize. We got Agricola, Attica, Board Game Geek Game, Carcassonne, Discworld. That's roughly alphabetical. That does not hold true when we get in that direction, but some classics in there. We got the Pandemic section. We got the nice little crate here, some other variants of Pandemic, also Jeff Engelstein's first game, the Ares Project, and a couple of others that just happen to fit on the shelf. Over on this side, some more Ticket to Ride sized boxes, including some environmental games, a few more favorites on here. We got Reef Encounter, The Networks, Winner's Circle, Tours, Wandering Towers. These are where the favorites sort of migrate in this direction. Of course, all the Splotter games here, Bus, Food Chain, and Indonesia, my three favorite Splotter games. Eminent Domain, still sticking around. What else you got? Splendor, Istanbul, two major favorites right there. These are the cream of the crop on this side of the room. We got the Freedom and Freeze collection, all those green boxes. These are the ones that I have held on to. Of course, we got the Power Grid and Power Grid Outpost, which is the most recent addition to the group. Fast Sloths, Finster Fleur, or Fearsome Floors, Copycat, still a favorite. I'm hanging on to that one. Fayum and Free Ride are still hanging on there. Primordial Soup and Dwarf Romantic filling out that shelf. Black Box was given to me at a convention once, and I still haven't played it. Comic Hunters, Settlers is still there. Seven Wonders, Dixit. Again, these are still classics that are sticking around. We got the Railways of the World collection, Defenders of the Realm, Can't Stop, Seen It, which I don't even think we have a DVD player that plays it anymore, but I'm still hanging on to that one. And then down here, 2 copies of Risk Legacy. I'm still holding out hope that the children will want to play one at some point. Clank in Space, Pueblo, Stratego Star Wars. Why do I still own that? And then, of course, some big things, Ticket to Ride, Clask, Bonk, Harry Potter, Hogwarts Battle that doesn't really fit in this box anymore. The trouble with having shelves that are so tightly packed is that you get another box of a particular size and you basically have to remove something of that size in order to make room for it. So say I've got, something new I want to put on the shelf, and I got to find, something same size to take out so I can... It's the way it goes. All right, sticking with the clustering, sort of. I got some Rio Grande titles, Queen, Mayfair selections there. This is sort of my 2-player section. I got the 2 boops, the first 2 boops, Hive, Bubbly, Pop, Mr. Jack, Rivals of Catan. All of my unmatched fits in these 3 boxes. I consolidated as much as possible. The 2-player line, the Cosmos 2-player line, I've got several of those here. Some other 2-player games from the Lookout collection and some Mayfair there as well. But if I'm looking for a 2-player game, I guess it's starting to bleed. So the 2-player games are moving away from the 2 shelves, and I've got Lord of the Rings Duel over there. Over here is the Jerry Hawthorne collection. Mice and Mystics, Stuffed Fables, Comanauts, Aftermath, Familiar Tales, except Wandering Galaxy doesn't fit. It's actually down there. Had to put Expeditions in there. I've got the Artemis Odyssey Trogdor. This is the Renegade deck building collection. G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, and Power Rangers are there. Transformers doesn't fit. It's up top, which you can't see, in its own box. And then classic Transamerica and Cartagena over here, Space Base. I'm heading into the smaller shelves. These are not all Ticket to Ride size, so we're starting to consolidate, squish down a little bit, and make some room. Ryan Lockett collection right over here. We got Sleeping Gods, Near and Far, Creature Caravan, Empires of the Void 2, Unmatched Adventures, which is very similar to, or close to, Unmatched Quicksilver, never getting rid of that one. Star Wars Outer Rim, hey, it's the big Merchant of Venus. Obsession, Walkstar, Rescue Polar Bears. This is the cluster of games that my wife likes. These are her favorites right here. It's Quacks, Potion Explosion, Rescue Polar Bears. Pandemic's already over there. It has a position of power already. Walkstar. And then down here, some big ones. We need to make room for the big ones. That's Firefly in the big crate. And Mechs vs. Minions, Zaya, Legends of a Drift System, Expedition, Scythe, Pathfinder, the adventure card game, Pitch Car. All of my Legendary fits in those two. Seventh Continent is down there. Got the bleed over of the Plaid Hats. This is the secondary Plaid Hat shelf. Spectre Ops, Quirky Circuits, Freelancers. There's Wandering Galaxy. And then some CGE titles. Starship Captains and Pulsar, Decorum, family favorite right there, Space Cadets, Isle of Cats, and Cosmos gets its own little cluster right here. This is where things start to get a little haphazard. I've got Pegasus, Spiele, Bomb Busters up here, some Renegade titles, a Freedom and Freeze game just sort of hanging out over here in the corner. The yellow King of Blank collection is right there. Star Trek Captain's Chair. I've got some Next Move games, Azul and Reef, sitting there. But then we start getting into some party games and some family Lego games, deduction game. Ray's Arcana is there for some reason. Okay, back to some organization. This size box, perfect. Look at that. Middle Ages, Race for the Galaxy, Istanbul, the dice game, Cryptid, Nations, the dice game, Fine Sand. This is the mini Freedom and Freeze section. Mobile Markets, got Century, got some of the wacky box Queen titles, Metro, Magier von Pangaea, Alhambra, Hey, That's My Fish. But then we start getting into some party games, code names, reverse charades. This is more of the mass market stuff coming into play over here. Got some more of that Ticket to Ride size, restoration games, Pandasaurus games, Rock Hard lives over here. I think that might be my only DeVere title. The CGE section, just trying to hold it together with some sort of clustering. This is where the card games live. They're all in these little organizers that many people have used. I haven't labeled them, so it's always like, where is such and such game? I don't know. You have to look in all four of them, and it's always in the last one you look for. Risk 2210 AD is right next to Pickleball Blast. Got some legendary titles there, the Buffy and the Alien legendary, and then a whole bunch more party games, Taboo, Yahtzee, brain games, stuff like that. The Carcassonne, the cooperative Carcassonne is there, and it's nowhere near any other Carcassones. So yeah, chaos. Wrestling things back into organization here, we've got the AEG section, also a board and dice section, Distilled, oh, love that game. Valley of the Kings, Cubitos, Rolling Heights, Windmill Valley, and Barcelona. Here's some new additions. I ran out of space for this size box, and so I had to start putting them like this. Video Game Champion, Lords of Vegas, the new innovation, Only Murders in the Building, Harmonies is in there. Then we, spill over from the party games, Tapple and Rollers Deluxe. This is the Ravensburger / Funko section. We got a Goofy Movie, Goonies, Rear Window, Disney Animated, and the two Back to the Futures. This is the dividing line between the two factions. We got both of the Back to the Futures, Back in Time and Dice Through Time, and then the two Horrifieds I have are there. Morn Quest, which is a game I'm hoping to play with the kids. Ziggurat, a game I have played with the kids. The Initiative, I still hope to play that with the kids. Mini Golf Designer, lovely little gem. Robot Quest Arena, my kids love that. For the Crown, I still want to play more of that. Then we get into the unlocks. Welcome to the unlock section, which even spills down over here. So we've got some more puzzle-style games heading down into there. And then we got Isla, Chronologic, paperback. This is just where I can fit them at this point. Zenith. Yeah. Still chaos. Welcome to the kids' game stuff. We've got Race to the Raft. The Forbidden games are here in this chunk. The tins and not tins version of those. Dragoon is a game my son bought at one point. Cuphead, my kids like that one. This is the D&D game, the Yawning Portal. that my son got for Christmas. This is actually the role-playing chunk, even though we've jammed some party games into the back there. We've got Adventure Party, the actual D&D. We got the Quests of Yore, which they've never played, but it's there. Password, and then firmly into, these are the kids' games. We've got all the classic big box games, Gulo Gulo, the Magic Labyrinth, the Tower, what is that? The Magician's Kitchen, Chateau Roquefort, the Habba stuff, Outfoxed, Untold with the Rory story cubes that my kids still like pulling out. Cora Quest, of course, is sitting there. And then there's more stuff down below. The table doesn't really let me get a good angle of the lower shelves down here, but we got more of the kids' games here, more Habba stuff. We got the complete yellow storybook collection, which I hate to let go unless I'm getting rid of it as an entire group. Some more big box Habba stuff, Key to the Kingdom down there, A Kid in a Shuffle, some classics, A Life, Casino, Yahtzee, Fireball Island is down there, Catan Jr., Coconuts, Loop and Louie, some of the battery-powered Bugaloop stuff. There's the map for my 7th Citadel game. Speaking of which, there's 7th Citadel. More favorites over here. Last Light, Puzzle Strike 2, Viticulture. They live over here. They just need more room. Ice Cool, some more escape room stuff. Robo Rally and Robo Rally Transformers. Summoner Wars is still sitting down there. And Crossmaster Arena. Whew. And then, of course, some random stuff on the top. We got all the stuff, all the weirdly shaped things that don't fit, like Monopoly Hotels and Jenga and Catch the Fox. That's a box on top of Monopoly that I got from Audible that I keep intending to put, Marvel Champions stuff in. Like, I think it would be a good box for putting cards in, but that hasn't happened. Those are just in their box. Got the big Takinoko up there. Up top, I'm running out of room for large boxes, so Blood on the Clock Tower lives up there, Elder Scrolls is up there. That's actually like set up, mid-set up for an adventure that we had to clear the table. So it's sort of stacked up, not really put away in its box. Thunder Road Vendetta's in there, Summit is there, Galactic Cruise. This is where all the big boxes live. Mistwind, Mind Management, Return to Dark Tower. All the Heroescape lives in these bins. Look at that. Yeah, and of course, Crossbows and Catapults right next to it. And here we just have utter chaos. Just as much, wherever I can shove things in. I got the Tiny Epic games, I've got the Crew set, the adventure games over here, bunch of classics. This is basically anything that's too big to go in those plastic bins, but too small to take up too much room on the shelf. I got a bunch of roll and writes, some trick-taking games over here, the Castles of Burgundy collection. Oh yeah, over here we got this is the collectible card game section. My Pokemon cards. I think all of my Pokemon cards are back here somewhere. These are the Doctor Who Magic sets. So the 4 decks of that I've got, I put in a nice container, and they're all just, set up that way. And then, Slay the Spire is sitting here. Cantaloupe, the graphic novel adventures. Oh, I want to show you this. Down here, this is a chess set that my dad made. He is a woodworker, and so he hand-turned these chess pieces and hand-carved stuff. And gave this set to my son when he was on the chess team. It's not the prettiest box, but it is the heirloom set of chess. There we go. That's the collection. Hopefully I didn't make you dizzy. Thanks for watching.
Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Bassel.